activity of the people who have contributed back to it has gone beyond any of our expectations.
So you guys have obviously grown much bigger since then, bigger than most or all hotel chains, and you have some similar challenges to companies like Uber, with some cities saying, hey, you guys should be regulated like hotels. So how do you respond to that?
I think about that question in the context of innovations over the last 100 years. And there are three examples that come to mind of new ideas that entered the world that had a pretty rough start, but are now so commonplace and everyday that you'd laugh if you thought oh wow, people were against that at one point. So ATM machines at one point, and I think it was in the 1970s, had a lot of criticism. And I think there were actually laws being written against them in certain states throughout the U.S. because it was this new and different way of banking, where you didn't have to go inside and talk with a person behind a desk who could maybe upsell you on other services. You just went to a computer in a wall and retrieved your money. Of course, can you imagine today without ATM machines?
No.
The VCR, I think, is another great example. It was first patented in the mid-20th century, but it didn't really become a product until the 80s, the early 80s, because it was met with such resistance from incumbent industries that didn't want people to watch movies at home. The car is another example where when the Model T came out in 1908, it represented a new way to travel, a new way to a new form of transportation. And there were certain cities that were against the car, and there were actually laws drafted to outlaw cars. But after you
continue.
But after a year of trying a new, more efficient way of transportation, the people demanded that they didn't want to go back to horse and buggy, and so the policymakers, had to modify the laws to what the people wanted.
Yeah.
So I think the world is ready for our invention, given that there's been over 100 million people that have stayed in homes all over the world. And the good news is that as cities come to learn about what we do and what we offer, they tend to want to work with us because they see that there is an economic impact that allows people in their cities in different neighborhoods to benefit.
I think last year Airbnb was valued at $20 billion and probably more today. I mean, is that crazy to you? Does that shock you when you think that you just started this thing and it is an idea that really went nowhere for the first couple of years in your apartment in San Francisco, and it's now worth billions of dollars, with a B? Does that mean anything to you, or to you is it just a number on a piece of paper?
I don't think about it too much. I mean, those things can change. If you look at the first .com, when I was growing up in Georgia, I was so enthralled by every day there was a new story of a new company that started in Silicon Valley or San Francisco, and that planted a very deep seed with me that one day I wanted to be a part of that. And so I also remember in the first .com of companies that were here today, gone tomorrow. There's a list of 10 of the hottest companies from the 1990s, one of which you would still remember. It's because technology moves so quickly that if you're not thinking about what's next, the world around you can change faster than you do.
Joe Gebbia. By the way, the company that he first tried to build before Airbnb was called Crit Buns, which are basically, I am not making this up, butt cushions for art students. The company kind of went dormant after Airbnb's success, but there is still a website for it.
And every now and then an order still comes in, and I still run down to the garage and pack them up and
Wait, how many Crit Buns do you have in your garage?
I think there's a few hundred.
Wow, you have a few hundred Crit Buns still in your garage? Oh my God.
It's a funny thing because it reminds me of where I started, and it's very grounding.
Wait, what's the website? Is it critbuns.com?
Literally critbuns.com.
Okay, we're gonna plug this. Go on to critbuns.com and order your Crit Bun. Only 600 left.